Hi, everyone, and welcome to Art with Asha. I'm Donna Gaines, president of Sage Collective, and I have with me here Lauren Smith, one of our very talented program directors. Hi, Lauren. How are you? I have a question for the audience, and that is, are you left brain or are you right brain? I think I'm a little bit of both. And that's because I think very analytically and logically with my left brain. But then on my right brain, I love decorating, I love design and arts and craft. So, Lauren, what about you?
I'm a bit of a mix of both too, but I lean towards the right. I love to sing and dance, and I'm crafty too.
Well, I think if I had to do it all over again, I'd probably spend a little more time doing fun stuff instead of being so analytical and anal. But having said that, tonight I'm going to lean into my right side and I'm going to try my hand at portrait drawing. As you all know, Sage Collective is known for providing high quality, affordable housing for seniors. And we also provide informative and fun programming like tonight's lesson, Art with Asha. And so our board of directors and our team at Sage is really committed to making sure we provide you with credible and useful information so that you can live vibrantly. And so we'll be doing more programs and activities like this in the coming weeks and months. And you can find out more by visiting our website, sagecollective.org. And then you can also register for our activities and classes by clicking on Sage Advice, Vibrant Learning. And by the way, we also have a new YouTube channel, Sage Advice, Vibrant Learning. And so you'll find videos there and some of our live streams. So with that, I'm going to get out of the way because I know everybody's really excited about creating their masterpiece. I'm going to go and find some pencil and paper and turn it over to you, Lauren, so you can introduce our guest instructor tonight. But everyone else, have fun, and I'll see you next time. Lauren?
Thanks so much, Donna. And hi, everyone. As Donna said, my name is Lauren, and I'm very, very excited to have the opportunity to work with our creative and talented guest in the development of our Vibrant Learning online program. Today, I'm honored to introduce to you my very talented friend, Asha Gaines Smith. Asha is a visual artist hailing from Brooklyn, New York, and as a fellow recent graduate of the real HU, Howard University's Chadwick A. Boseman College of Fine Arts, she has worked as a freelance artist for various clients, including ABC Studios, Look Me Up Media Digital Marketing Agency, and is currently a member of the New York City Center Creative Fellowship. Asha, we are so happy to have you here today.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Yay! So, I know today's class is going to be a variety of different things. Could you walk us through a little bit of what you'll be talking about with us today?
Yeah, of course. So we're going to start off with some basics. Like I just want to talk about like values, lines, like basic shapes that we're going to be using, and then we're going to go into doing a portrait. And we're going to talk about how we use these values, these lines, these basics of drawing to create a face.
Oh, I'm so excited. I did bring my pen and my paper, so I'm very excited to be drawn along with you guys. So, as you all can see, there's something for everyone. And if you get stumped or want to ask Asha a question during our class, please put your question in the chat and I'll make sure to share it with her. So, without further ado, let's get started. Asha, over to you.
Hello, everyone. I'm so excited to get started with you today. So here you're going to see my paper. I have my little setup so you guys can see my hands as I'm going. This is live, so you're going to see me starting to teach you guys some things. It's just something I started to warm up, but we're going to warm up together. So I'm going to start with really any pencil that you have on you. I sharpened mine, and you're going to start with some basic lines. So I'm going to start using the side of my pencil and just drawing, using different amounts of pressure to see how our pencil works. So, right, if we press on really hard, we're going to get those really defined lines. Whereas if we go lightly, see how light that is. So just start off with that, maybe do a gradient with your pencil where you start off pressing really hard and you make it lighter. This will help us later. So you see how this value is significantly darker than this value? That is going to be important. Okay. So now that we've started with that warm up, I just want to talk about some shapes that we're going to be using today. Because we're using the face, we're drawing the face, we're going to be using a lot of organic and round shapes. So starting off, just drawing some circles is going to be a good practice. We don't have to use just one page, so I'm going to go over to the other one. And nobody's face is perfect. So if your circles are not like perfect circles, that's very much okay. Just keep going. Some other shapes that are often found in the face that I like to use are triangles. And this is very much just a warm up, get loose. If you're nervous, calm down, you know? not calm down. You should do what you want, but continue to just draw these shapes, go with the flow. Okay, I'm gonna move you guys a little bit closer. I think I have some shadows that are blocking the view. And B, I think you're not seeing as much as I would like you to see. There we go. And I'm going to bring my light in so much better. You guys let me know how this looks. It's okay to be nervous. I always say art can smell fear. So it is so okay to be nervous. Just know that no one's judging you here, okay? This is a no judgment zone. A lot of people I think say to me, they're like, oh, I don't have an artistic bone in my body. You do. You have so many bones in your body. One of them has to be artistic. You know? And I think it's people also think that sometimes because they believe that art is about realism. It's about making something perfect making something look perfectly like your still life. And that's really not the primary goal of art. I would say it differs depending on the person that you're speaking to. However, I believe the goal of art is to make people feel something. It's to tell stories, and you don't always have to do that through realism. A lot of self-portraits that you can go and see are not these perfect hyper-realistic paintings, right? And they still portray the artist. So I'm just doing some zigzags here. Okay. Now, everyone's feeling loose. We're gonna go on to our next page, okay? And we're going to start off with the basics of the portrait. Okay? Everyone feel loose, okay? Loosen out those wrists. You got this. Okay. So we're going to start with the circle for the face, right? I just had you practice those circles. Just go ahead and do what you want. You can do it more than once, okay? Go in lightly. Go in lightly with the circle, okay? Because you see how you can barely see that it's faint? It's because the circle is not one of our defining lines. It's a guideline, okay? Which is also why it's okay if it's not a perfect circle. Now we're gonna go ahead and do the midline of the face. Again, faces aren't perfect, people aren't perfect. Don't worry about it. Okay, we're just in the middle of the face. So this is what we should have. At this point, we have a circle and a line in the middle of the face. Those are two things that we already did. So look, we're doing great. Okay, you did it. Like this is it. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to draw our eye line, okay? So I always draw my eye line in the middle of that circle. So you see right here, we're going to do a little bit of a curved line. It doesn't have to be perfectly straight, okay? None of these lines have to be perfectly straight, right? One down, one across for the eye line. Okay, this is the top part of our head now. So we see we have the eye line here, and we have, imagine like a circle on this part of our face. Next, we're going to go down and get our jaw and our chin, okay? So when I go in here, I'm going to assume my jaw is a little bit right here. This is where my mouth is going to be. I'm gonna draw a little bit of a circle for my chin. This is what I like to do. I like to draw a circle for my chin. You don't have to. You should do what feels right, because if you don't want to draw that circle for your chin, you can just go in, bring this side of your face down on both sides, and then bring that jaw in. Okay. Okay. Everyone has different jaws. However, right now, what we're focusing on more is that structure of the face. Okay, we're not focusing on, well, my jaws are a little bit crooked, this, that, or the other. We're focusing on these parts of the face that we're drawing. Okay, so look at that. Wow, you guys already have the outline of the face. I'm gonna draw a neck right here. Your neck actually starts like on the outside. You see how it's connected? So like you wanna draw it straight down. The line doesn't have to be straight. What I mean by straight down is we're not going to draw it, for instance, right here on the chin. It's going to be the outline outside of your jaw. Okay. And shoulders, we're going to be loose with it. Right. Again, the big thing we're going to repeat in our mind right now, we are not focusing on realism. The lines do not have to be perfect. Okay. Next, we're just gonna round out that head. It's not our hairline yet, don't worry. So next we're gonna go in with the eyes. So your eyes are going to be an eye width apart. So what I mean by that is my eyes, I wonder if you're looking at me, you can see the length of this eye is the same length between my nose. 1, 2. So I like to estimate the circle right there. See? 1, 2. Megatron is a great thing to draw, okay? I support you drawing Megatron. Okay, so if this is an eye, let's make our third and fourth eye. Eyes are almond shaped. So that means that we're going to do this arch like this. And then I don't always draw my under eyelid. Okay. So just do the arch here. Okay. And then we're going to do another arch here. Okay. And we're going to pay attention to those proportions. How are we feeling? Is the eye the same length as this inner proportion that we made? Okay. Are you guys ready? We're going to draw just some light pupils. Going lightly with your pencil, right? We're going in lightly. We don't have to go too crazy right now. We're doing really sketchy. We're doing really sketchy strokes with our pencil. Okay. So we have two eyes. Oh my gosh. Great job, everyone. Now at this bottom of the circle right here, we are going to add a nose. Everyone's nose is different. I always enjoy drawing my nose. I have what I would consider a wider nose. I always use a circle to start with this tip of my nose. Okay? So I start with the circle right there. And then we have two nostrils at the end, right? On each side, excuse me. So I always do a hook like this on each side to draw my nose personally. You should look at your nose, see what it looks like. Some people have noses that look very different from the front. Some people have noses in which the nostrils are more prominent, right? So they start off like this. And then we bring that in, okay? Mine looks like this. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and draw my nostrils. Again, just another curve, just another curve. It's kind of like a loop or a teardrop. You can consider it. So we're going to go 1, 2. I mean, you might have one. Really no judgment here if you do, okay? You know, everyone's unique. Okay. Next, we're going to draw our mouth, okay? I always start off when you're looking at yourself and your mouth is closed. You are starting off with a line, right? You see over here where I am. Some people have a dip where their lips are. I do not. I have more of a curve down to the middle, okay? So, see where that is? And then we have our bottom lip. We have our top lip, okay? Is all of this making sense? You guys let me know if I'm going too quickly, or if you're like, my lips don't look like that. Can you do an example of this? But we're going to start there, okay? Okay, we have a bottom lip and a top lip, okay? Okay. Now, if you're here and you're looking at this and you're like, this doesn't look like me, that's okay. We're really, really just at the beginning. It's okay. I promise it's okay. If it's bothering you a lot, sometimes at this stage, I like to go in with my eraser. You can have a big eraser on you. I am very attached to my mechanical pencil erasers because they are much thinner. This is a very cool one that like gets longer and shorter. So for instance, I feel like right here, I made the eyes a little bit too long. Everyone makes mistakes. Everybody has those days. So I'm going to go in and erase a little bit, okay? Do I feel like my nose is centered? maybe not. So I'm gonna go ahead and erase a little bit. You can also start erasing some of your guides. So this was guide, this was guide, this was guide. You can go ahead and start erasing. Okay. Okay. I'm going to take it a second and let you guys look at yours. Because sometimes if you're really zoomed in on your drawing, I find that you then take a step back, you look at it and you're like, oh, I don't know who this is, but it's not me. Okay. Can you review the nose again? Of course I can. Okay. So let's go in and do another nose. I'm going to do it a little bit bigger over here. So I start with a circle. It's more an oval. More an oval, let's be honest. I start with an oval because this is the point of the nose, right? Our nose is not actually a point, it's round. Okay. And then I go in with our nostrils. Our nostrils are kind of a rounded, tilted L, right? 1, 2. So you look at yours, you see where you are. Mine are very round like this. So I go in and I create those 2 rounded L's, right? Now, I have 2 nostrils. Some, like when you look at them straight on, they're not going to be circles. They're going to be more of a teardrop kind of shape. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to make that teardrop. Let me know if you can see what I'm doing. Okay. And then there's this undercurve because you have your septum. This is your septum right here. And here we go back to our values. If you look at the face, some of the darkest values are going to be right your nose, your pupils, especially if you have dark brown eyes like me. And then of course, like your mouth, because those are like openings, right? So that's why I have shaded in these nostrils that way. Okay. And I always find that I see some light hitting on the outside of my nostrils. Right there, right there. That's why I sometimes do a little bit of an erase. I'm gonna go ahead and do it on my face too. Now, we're gonna move on to the eyebrows. If that makes sense to everyone, just throw a comment in the chat if it doesn't. However, I do have eyebrows and I like my portraits to have eyebrows. So I'm going to move on to those, right? I'm just going to go right above my eyes. So some people have eyebrows that are very close to their eyes, right? Or they have very arched eyebrows. Mine, I would say I never find are very arched. I'm so glad that helped. I would say that they are a soft curve. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and give myself soft curves of eyebrows. You do not have to do one straight line with this, okay? You can, if you want, do one of these, but I find it is easier and it also can look more like hair if you do sketchy lines, right? So you don't have to be so sure about these lines. Just start a little bit, then keep going. Okay? Does that look like your eyebrow? If not, okay, we have erasers. That's what erasers are for. And then I always go in above and I complete that eyebrow shape, right? That soft curve for me. Maybe you have a higher arch. And I always, as I go, it's okay to draw yourself guide. Okay, so I just drew myself a little bit of a guide because I felt like my eyebrows were not going in the way that I wanted them to. I wanted to make sure that they were even. So I drew myself a little guide right there. See? And what's that thing you say when you're doing your makeup? They're sisters, not twins. It's okay if they don't look perfectly the same. Now I'm looking at this and I'm looking at my face, and I realize that I forgot to show you guys the eyelids part. Okay, so let's go to eyelids. I have hooded lids. I hope you guys can see. Please let me know if you can't see when I'm getting up close to the camera. I have hooded lids, which basically means that putting on eyeliner is really difficult. Okay. I'm sorry, I'm laughing on my own. I hope you guys are laughing at home. But no, it means that this part of my under my eyebrow, it does come a little bit further over my eyelid. So my eyelid, instead of having an eyelid that is always visible when my eyes are open, instead of having that half moon show, I have more of a two triangles on the end showing. So let me show you what that looks like. So, right, I have my eye. And I'm doing this so, some of you also might have hooded lids. And so I want to show different examples of what that can look like, right? So you see, here's my eye right here. Ignore all of this. Here's my eye. This is the inside crease. And then you see that? That is because my eyelid comes, the fat above my eyelid comes down closer to my lash line. And then there's the end. Let me know if you see what I did there. Some of you might not have hooded lids, in which case you have this half moon above your eye. It's the full amount. Okay, I'm gonna move that up. Above your eye, if you can see that. I'm gonna do it up here so you can see more clearly. So right, that's your pupil. There's that half moon. I don't know if anybody here remembers when people were doing cut creases, but this was the perfect eyelid to do a cut crease on. So I'm gonna go ahead and give myself hooded lids. Okay. So we're gonna do that. And the hooded lid is with 3 lines. They are not straight lines necessarily. We want to keep all of our lines curved. We don't have, even when faces are angular, they still have a lot of curves. It's just how the body works. A lot of bodies work. Not all. Okay. So we have a lot of things on our face right now. We have a lot of the essentials. I would like to move on to our hairline. Okay. Now, hairlines are going to look different on everyone. I always like to sketch in my hairline because I have baby hairs. Okay, so I don't do a harsh line with my hairline. Okay, we're gonna do a guideline and then sketch in those baby hairs. Okay, so some of you will have a widow's peak. I have a slight widow's peak, right? A widow's peak is where your hair comes down and it be at the beginning. Mine's not very visible, so I start off with this curve, right? Not because my hairline is curved necessarily, but because when I am looking straight forward, my head is round. You can see it when I'm like under. You see that curve? That means my hairline, when you're looking straight at me, it goes on kind of a curve, right? It's not a straight line. So we're gonna start with that, okay? And if any of you have gotten like a lineup, you know that also you're going to have this kind of L. If I were to do a side profile, but we are looking straight on. So when you're looking straight on, that L is a little bit smushed, right? So we're going to do this kind of curve right here. I'm making my lines a little bit bolder so you guys can see what I'm doing with my hair. Line here on both sides. It's kind of like that curved part of the L. Now we're going to do that bottom part of the L on both sides. Okay. We're going to do that bottom part of the L to curve all the way down to the outside of our eyes. Now we're doing it to the outside of our eyes because we need ears. And they're important. So if you have 2 ears, we're going to start at the corner of our eyes. Do a little curve up. Okay. Little curve up on both sides. We're going to do a little round top and bring it down. I'm going to show that again on this side. A little round top, bring it down. Now, guys, I hope everyone's also looking at their ears as they do this. I find that a small part of the inside of my ear sticks out. And then I have my lobe. Your ear should end at the bottom of your nose. So again, feel free always to draw guidelines for yourself. Okay. Let me know if anyone wants me to do that again. Because sometimes I just go and I don't want anybody to feel left behind when they're doing this. Let me know if anybody's face is missing anything essential. Because we're about to start going into some details. We have all the basics on here, but I don't know about you. I don't know if this looks like me yet, right? We're going to start making it look like us with hair, some shading with those values that we learned about before, that kind of thing. So I'm looking at this, right? And we just drew this hairline. Is my hairline that close? No, I think I can bring it up a little bit. We can easily bring it up with our eraser. And I hope everyone's able to follow along and understand what I'm doing. I just switched pencils, but it's because I have multiple pencils next to me. No switching pencils is required. All right. Now, depending on what kind of hair you have, we can now start with these baby hairs. And baby hairs are literally just short lengths, right? We can just start, this is how they grow from your scalp, right? Kind of like the eyebrows that we just did. Right? No, I kind of have a big forehead. This forehead is not fitting my forehead, is it? So I'm gonna go ahead and look at that shape of my forehead. I'm looking at myself and I would say I need to give myself much more room around here, okay? So I'm going to change this part of the L to give myself a wider forehead. Just gonna erase a little bit, okay? Go ahead and erase a little bit over here. Okay. What are you guys doing? Do you guys think that your portraits are looking a little bit like you? Are you feeling like this correcting period is helping you look more like yourself on paper? Maybe you gave yourself a widow's peak that was a little bit too pointed. Or maybe your hairline looks more like an oval that goes out instead of coming in. Now, I'm seeing the distance between my eyes and my nose, right? We calculated this distance because we made a circle. However, I'm looking at my face and I'm feeling like my nose is a little bit closer to my eyes. Okay, that's okay. I'm going to go in and move my nose a little bit. So you remember how we did these noses, everyone. We take a circle. That's our guide. It's light. We don't have to make it too harsh, okay? We're making those L's on each side. And then we're making those teardrops for nostrils. Don't forget your septum. So I just moved mine up a little bit. It's okay to have eraser marks. Again, this is also our first class. And practice makes perfect, but also perfect is not always the goal. You know? Again, I'm just switching pencils because I want you guys to see what I'm doing. It's just for me. You do not need to switch pencils if you do not want to. You're going to get these values by pressing your pencil down harder for darker lines and going using less pressure for lighter lines. Okay, look at my jawline. Do you feel like that's accurate? I feel like it is. So I'm going to shore up some of those lines. Okay. By shore up, I mean I'm going to go back over them. Thank you. I have some straight lines because remember we were not very focused on our lines being so perfect. Some of them were sketchy. So I'm going to go ahead and do some erasing. I just erased the top of my lip. That's okay. The cool thing about drawing is I can go ahead and drop back in. Nothing's the end of the world. Okay. I have two-toned lips. So I always like to give myself two-toned lips in my drawings. Okay. So I'm looking at my lips. I'm looking at my light source. It's right over here. Okay. We're going into values right now. Looking at where the shadows are. Now, the values on here are always going to be darker because my lip is two-toned. It's going to be darker than this bottom lip. Okay. There we go. Now what else? What else do I see when I'm looking at myself? I have a bridge. The bridge of my nose is not very what I would describe as sharp. So how do I show that the bridge of my nose is not sharp with values? With the shading, right? We're not going to use just a line, okay? I'm going to use the side of my pencil right here. I'm going to see there's this, I would call this a rectangle almost of shadow. Let me go ahead and, we're not going to be afraid of anything because we have erasers. Let me go ahead and I have a very strong light source on this side of my face, which is why I'm starting with this shadow on this side of my face. Okay. So we see that. What else do I have? I'm gonna go in a little bit and make my eyes a little bit darker. Do you guys have really strong bottom lashes? I don't so much. However, I do have shadows on these bottom lids. I see that part of my face is darker. I start on the outside. I'm gonna come in right here. A little bit of shadow here because I see the peak of this piece of skin is shadowing the inner corner of my eye. There we go. We see I have a shadow here because this part of my head is curved. Let's look at my chin. I definitely have a shadow under my lip. Do I feel like my nostrils are going to the right part? Maybe I want to lighten my nostrils a little bit. Maybe your nostrils go to the corner, in the corner of your eye. Maybe they go a little bit further. I've done a lot of self-portraits, and I feel when I revisit doing a self-portrait, I'm seeing myself as the person that I am now. Even though my face may not have changed, I have changed internally. My skills have changed. What I know has changed. And I think that will always reflect in your artwork, you know? Okay. Maybe how serious I take myself has changed, right? Maybe last time I was just doing it really quickly, and now I have time to sit down and do it. Maybe I have different materials this time. Maybe it's been a while since I've revisited drawing. Okay. Maybe you want your cheeks to be a little bit rounder. Did I make my eyes look a little bit too downturned? I have eyes that are pretty much almost upturned. One moment. Dog. Okay. Okay. I have these, I wouldn't call them smile lines, but you can see where the fat of my cheeks comes forward, the apples. And that casts a bit of a shadow. And I'm going in pretty light with all of this. And then you can always come back and make your lines darker. I make my pupils a little bit big. Racers are such a great invention. Oh, I have a nose ring. Look at that. I'm actually going to go in with my mechanical pencil for this one because this pencil's sharp as I'd like it to be. I'm drawing the shadow of my nose ring. A little bit, because if you look, my nose ring is shiny. So it's going to be very light compared to the rest of my face. I have, if you look at the side of my nose, it goes down and then it doesn't go up. However, the slope gets less steep. And that casts a little bit of a shadow right there. I'm gonna give myself some bottom lashes. Just for fun. Oftentimes you can't really see bottom lashes all that much. In fact, I do have some top lashes. These lashes are going to be curved. So we are looking, first of all, our lashes are curved already. However, our eye is very round. Our eyelid is very round. So they're going to be pointing. Thank you. They're going to be pointing in different directions, right? So one might be pointing to the right side, on the right side of your face. I'm gonna make these bigger for you guys. The right side. I'm making them very bold. You do not have to. I just want you to be able to see. And then as you get into the corner of your face, they're going to face in towards your nose. Okay. And really, when you're doing this shadow, do it fully from observation is my advice. Look at what your face looks like. Do not do it where you think these shadows should be. And that's every time you do this, right? If you revisit this practice, I would strongly suggest every time you're going to be in different light. Even if you set up everything the exact same, there might be things that you learn or that you see that you didn't see last time. Okay. Okay. Now maybe you want to give yourself like a little earring. Go ahead and do what you want. That I'm gonna give myself a bald head right now. I'm not gonna lie to you. We're at the end, and hair is not something that I felt like we need to focus on. So just go ahead and give yourself a bald head. Okay?
That's all right. I'm sitting here with my bald little buddy too.
That's okay. Being bald is very cute. Okay.
I love it. Well, Asha, you really have brought us through a myriad of little details that have come together and made something extremely beautiful. So thank you. You made it so easy for us to learn all these new techniques. And I know I've taken away a lot Because as you and I have talked about, I'm not a visual artist. I'm more of a singy, songy, dancey artist. But I did a little something today, and I'm definitely looking forward to next week so I can continue to work on my masterpiece. But how do you feel about yours?
Yeah, I feel good. Does she look exactly like me? No. However, you guys, please give yourself grace because we did this in an hour. So I feel like everyone should pat themselves on the back. Wow, you did it. And keep looking at this, keep observing it. Look at the little details, figure out what your face looks like, really feel it out, and keep having fun with it.
Yay! So I'm gonna give y'all a peek of my little guy. And I do honestly think it looks more like my brother than it does look like me, but that's okay. We're related.
Yeah, you guys are related.
What do we got working?
OMG, I love this. I really do love this.
We broke it down into some easy, like you were saying, lines, shapes, values, and it was really easy to follow along. So thank you so much for your expertise and for your time tonight. And for anybody else who's brave enough to share their image tonight, you can also send an email of your self-portrait, take a picture of it for us, and send it to advice, ADVICE, at sagecollective.org, and we'll show them at the start of next week's class, where we'll learn all of the details that will give us hair, like you were saying, earrings, jewelry, our little things that make us us, for sure. Mm-hmm. And Asha, you were great about answering the questions in the chat tonight. I know everybody's having a great time. Everybody's having so much fun. But don't forget, next week, we're going to keep this going. Tuesday, January 21st, same time, same place. And I just want to say thank you all for joining. This has been so fun. And I do want to share some things that you shared with us, Asha, some little nuggets of wisdom that I'm taking with me because I'm a big quotes person. I wrote some things down. Perfect is not always the goal. I saw Monique shouted that out as well. That was so helpful. And it eased a lot of my nerves. It eased a lot of my anxiety. As long as I have an eraser by my side, I know I'm okay.
Exactly.
I learned draw yourself as you are now. That was beautiful. Oh my goodness. It felt like immediately it added emotion and perspective to what was a 2D little drawing of circles and lines. And it just felt very important to me. So thank you for sharing that with us tonight.
Yeah, thank you.
And art can smell fear. As soon as you said that, I was like, I won't be afraid. I'm here to try my best. And that's what you're going to get from me tonight.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I feel like I look back at like my art and like sometimes I can even hear the audiobook that I was listening to while I was doing that, or like, the music I can smell. So, you're drawing yourself as you were in that moment. And I think that's really beautiful. Yeah.
That was so gorgeous. I think I'm going to write that down and put it on my wall. But thank you again to everyone who came tonight. As long as that's all of our questions, that's all of our queries. We'll see you next week. Again, Tuesday, January 21st, 7 p.m. Central Time, right here on Facebook Live. And if you guys have any more questions or want to learn more about Asha, we have a blog post up at sagecollective.org and have all the information on any upcoming classes there as well. So thank you all for your time tonight. Thank you for joining us, for drawing along with us, and we can't wait to see any of your drawings from tonight and continue with you guys next week. Have a great one. Bye, guys.